The FDA is holding a hearing today over a drug that some call Viagra for women. The pill treats female desire and boosts chemicals in the brain. Flibanserin has already been rejected twice over side effects, but several women's groups accuse the FDA of gender bias because there are no drugs to help women, but many options for men. Dr. Devi Nampiam is an assistant professor at NYU's School of Medicine, here to talk a little bit more about this really complicated topic.
Sure.
So the FDA says there are side effects in this drug. That is why they have rejected it. But we always hear about those side effects when we hear commercials for male sexual dysfunction drugs. So what's the difference?
Sure. So there are a lot of side effects. I mean, pretty much for every medication, if it has an effect, it has a side effect.
Right.
Here are the ones they're talking about sometimes nausea, drowsiness, that you might feel like fainting, and that could be even worse if you're drinking alcohol. So, I mean, my point of view is that you're not supposed to drink with a lot of medications, right? Whether it's antibiotics or if you're talking about other medications like pain medications, even over-the-counter medications, you can't drink with them. So I think this is a little bit strange that that's the reason that
So your point of view is perhaps the bar is higher for these sexual
Perhaps.
dysfunction drugs that treat women's.
Well, maybe. So we have to see. I mean, they're comparing it to the benefits as well. So they're not looking at the side effects alone. Now, the benefits, when they looked at it, they found that the drug actually helped in terms of people feeling more satisfied at the end of each month, in terms of using these medications. They also felt a little bit less stressed out, the women who took it, about sexual desire and stuff. So looking at those measures, it seemed to be positive, but they weren't hugely positive. So what they say is that it's statistically significant, meaning there is a difference, but maybe not clinically where it creates such a huge difference. They're weighing the two against each other.
I just want to show our viewers some numbers on sexual dysfunction for women because it is actually significantly higher among women. 43% of women at some point experience sexual dysfunction compared to 31% of men, but there are no FDA-approved drugs available to women to treat it. Men have 26 different pills they can take. Why is there such a disparity, and does that really have to do with gender bias, or is it just women's physiology is more complicated in this regard?
Well, women's physiology may be more complicated, but at the same time, when you see numbers like that, I mean, if you're a pharmaceutical manufacturer, you might feel like, well, why should I put so much investment and so many resources into developing females' drugs? Why not put it into developing men's drugs, which might be more profitable? So there is a long-term concern that, will people still want to invest in this area?
And that is also where the accusations of bias come in, which is the research and development side of things, not just when it gets approved at the FDA level, right?
I agree. And then in terms of gender bias, if you look at it, I mean, why do these decisions about safety and about benefits have to be made solely at the FDA level? I mean, sometimes we have drugs with a lot of risks, but then we let doctors and patients talk about it and decide if they're going to, if they're ready to take on those risks.
So Flibanserin, this is the third time that this drug is going before the FDA. Is this the only game in town, or are there other drugs that have been proposed that have also been rejected by the FDA?
Well, this seems to be the one that has the most promise. So, and then part of that is also related to the marketing, which the FDA says it doesn't want to approve something solely because of a PR campaign, which is fair. They want to look at the science. But here, it's a little bit tricky. It seems like the bar that is being set is a little bit more subjective. So,
Dr. Devi Nampiam, thank you so much for your
Thanks.
insights on this. Appreciate it.